My name is George, Procurement Specialist at PKF. I'm going to be talking about probity. Now, the first thing is to understand what probity is. And probity review essentially is a review of an organization's systems. And in most cases, it applies on procurement, but it can be any other system. And when you're reviewing it, you want to review to make sure that this system is conducted in a fair way, in integrity. It has been conducted with integrity. It has also been conducted in compliance with the laws and regulations that govern that area that you're looking at. Now, we will concentrate ourselves on the South African procurement system. Although the procurement systems are similar worldwide, there are different laws and regulations that govern these in different jurisdictions. Now, in South Africa, procurement systems are governed by Section 217 of the Constitution. And in short, this Section 217 states that if any government institution, be it provincial, be it local government, if they are to procure goods or services, they must do so in a system that is equitable, transparent, competitive, and cost-effective. Now, by doing that, we get quite a number of benefits from this system. One of which can be we are preventing fraud, because as we know in South Africa, there's been quite a lot of fraud that is procurement related. So the moment you have a probity, then you are trying to prevent fraud from occurring. Secondly, you'd want to make sure that your system has got proper corporate governance. It's organized, proper corporate governance. It also makes sure that the supply chain system, your SCM processes, comply with the laws and regulations within that section of procurement. We also have advantages of bid rigging. I mean, you prevent bid rigging. There are lots of bid riggings that go on in procurement. So when you do a probity, you are trying to prevent bid rigging. You are trying to prevent conflict of interest, where sometimes people give contracts to their friends. You're also trying to do risk management. Your system has got to be risk managed such that you reduce the risks that would occur to this organization. Most of this usually is reducing the costs that go in litigation, because quite a lot of litigations come out of the systems where rigging has occurred, where you've got conflict of interest, and in the end, organizations end up having reputational risk for having done the system wrongly. So once we do these reviews, they help to reduce the risks that this company would be facing. Now, when it comes to timing, so when should probity reviews occur? One of the common mistakes that organizations make is to have this at the end of the whole procurement process. This is completely the wrong way to do it. You are supposed to have it, you're supposed to start it at the beginning of the process, and then it's supposed to continue with the process up to the end. One of the advantages of starting it from the beginning is because some people usually ignore the terms of reference. They don't think that terms of reference are those that are supposed to be checked. What quite a number of people do is to just do a tick that an organization has done procurement based on their processes, SCM processes, but it goes beyond that. For example, did they use terms of references that were free of any bias? We've got quite a number of case laws where organizations have been taken to court because they had terms of references that were full of bias, and then in the end they give a tender to somebody else, only to be taken to court after the process. So had this been done at the beginning, then you find that you avoid those costs that will go with the litigations. Now, when it comes to this process, there are quite a number of variations depending on the kind of process you're looking at. When you are doing a probity for a building organization, there are certain regulations that go with the building environment. These regulations will not be the same as you doing a probity for example, school education environment. Then you need to be aware of the different regulations that govern the process that you're looking at. So though you have to be cognizant that there are different regulations, laws and regulations, although all of them are dealing with the preferential procurement, but when it comes to specifics, each one of them has got specific laws and regulations that govern it. Now, in conclusion, we see that you've got to have an organization that has got laws, has got a system that is fair and equitable. So we've got to make sure that when we are setting up this procurement, it follows the section 217 of the Constitution. In reality, you can be sued because the process was unfair. You can be sued because the process was not transparent. We can be sued because the process was not equitable. So when you look at all those are tenets of the section 217 of the Constitution. So you make sure that when you're looking at your procurement system, it satisfies all those conditions. And it also must be competitive. You must make sure that your system is competitive, where you are not favoring one bidder over another. So in doing all the above, when you do all that, what you're doing, what you're trying to do is actually to avoid reputational risk for your organization. Thanks very much.